Final segment of the day. We're going to go to our Guy. Guy is back with another list. Guy has made his breakout guys list for college basketball this season. In general, before we reveal the list, Cart, any thoughts on Guy's breakout guys? Do you feel that we made the correct tweaks to this? Obviously this isn't fun to listen to until we reveal the list, but what's your pulse on Guy's breakout guys before we reveal the names?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty solid list. I think the wrong Michigan player is on this list, in my opinion. But I like the makeup of this list. I do.
All right, let's reveal official names. This is what we got. Number one breakout player in college basketball this season. And again, qualification on this list, you must have started less than 60% of your games last season to qualify for this. Number one breakout guy should be obvious. It's Donovan Clingan. Number two, Riley Kugel. Number three, Kylan Boswell. Number four, Connor Essegian. Number five, Rylan Griffin from Alabama. Number six, David Joplin from Marquette. Number seven, Derek Simpson from Rutgers. Number eight, Kel'el Ware from Indiana. Number nine, Emmanuel Sharp from Houston. Number 10, Terrace Reed from Michigan. And we have three honorable mentions here, all guys that have some sort of Big Ten element to them. Malik Hall from Michigan State, Felix Okpara from Ohio State, and Jaden Epps at Georgetown. I like that list. After reading through those names, I like this list in general a lot. Where do you start with this? What would you change?
I like this list a lot. I do. I think that Doug McDaniel. Oh no, he started too many games. My apologies. So he wouldn't qualify for this list actually. So I take back the comment on the wrong Michigan guy.
Well, you could change the criteria. You can criticize the criteria.
No, I think the criteria makes sense. It does make sense. Even
Guy was mad at me. I pushed it. Guy wanted it at 50%, and I pushed it up to 60 to get a couple names on this list.
We'll push it up to 85. We push it up to guys who started. We don't care. We just think they're going to break out. But if I had to move one guy up on this list, I think Jay Nepp should find his way into the top 10. Just because I think part of being a breakout guy is having more ample opportunities. And I think at Georgetown, he's going to be getting them up and he's going to play a lot. And I think that's going to lead to stats being there. And just because I've mentioned it on other ones, I'm very interested to see this Joplin into Marquette transition. I've mentioned it on other podcasts. I know he showed things last year. I know that they expect him to come in and play extremely well. And a lot of people are extremely high on him too. It's pretty consensus across most media spaces, people you talk to, that he's going to take a step. Even Coach Smart himself, I know some of the guys we know have asked Coach Smart, who's the guy who's going to break out, who's the guy who's had a really good summer, and he's brought him up. I'm just, that's a lot of pressure. That's a bigger role he's coming into. I'm interested to see how that looks. And then obviously, I love that my guy Derek Simpson's on this list. I think he's going to be really good for Rutgers this season. Obviously the Geo Baker comparisons are there, but I think he can be better than Geo Baker. I do, as far as consistency and scoring wise. So I really like this list. A lot of players I like on this list. I don't think there's anyone on this list that I'm like, don't want them there.
I want to put some spotlight on a name I don't think we've talked about enough here. Riley Kugel was absurd to end the season for Florida.
Yeah.
And
it's really good.
I knew he was good, but I went back and looked at the numbers behind his hot finish. It's one of the most absurd stretches I've ever seen. He basically shot above 50% from the floor in 8 of his final 10 games. He scored 12 points or more in all of them, but most of these games were above 20, 15, 18, 12, 17, 24, 20, 19, 21, 14. That was the final 9 games of the season. It was like Todd Golden just decided oh, he's not a 19-minute a game guy anymore. I'm going to play him the whole game. And he became this offensive engine the likes of Florida hasn't had since before Mike White was even there. I'm really intrigued by it because I got to be honest, I'm pretty jealous. I feel like they got their Kobe Bufkin back. The expectations for Riley Kugel this season are what I would have expected from Kobe if he was back for his junior year. And honestly, I think he's a lottery pick. I think he could be a first-team All-American. I think he could be the SEC Player of the Year. So I really like that call out. It's hard to displace Donovan Clingan at 1, But I think like if we were tiering this up, I think those two are like first team All-American caliber breakouts. And then everybody else on this list is like, maybe they're an all conference guy. Maybe they can be a first option. I don't think Connor Essegian is in the right spot here at 4. And that's not disrespect. We love Connor Essegian here. I said last year he was my favorite player in the Big Ten. I stand by that. Love watching the kid play. I just think AJ Storr is really redundant to a Connor Essegian breakout. And I would love to be wrong on that. But I keep saying it in various forms. In order to take a leap or take a jump production-wise, you need opportunity. And I don't think a starting shooting guard playing next to a shoot-first Chucky Hepburn point guard and now another guy who's supposed to take a sophomore leap, I don't think that benefits a Connor Essegian breakout. I think that could come a year from now as a junior, maybe if Chucky Hepburn isn't his point guard anymore. Not to speak that into existence, but other than that, though, I'm pretty good with this. I don't have many issues. I'll say I can't believe Malik Hall is on the honorable mention list. Like, is that just Carter fan service? Is that what we're doing?
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
Like a 23-year-old breakout guy who is super injured all the time.
Yeah, I don't know how I necessarily feel about that one, but also I guess his breakout into consistency could happen. One last little take I want to get off here is that I think the breakout guy for Indiana will be Renaud, not Ware.
Oh, elaborate on that one for me, because I like Ware's inclusion.
I like Ware's inclusion because his breakout could look like top 10 NBA draft pick. I think that Renaud right now, even if he doesn't break out, you're getting a guy who is probably going to average like 9 and 6. Ware's floor could be not even on the Indiana team. Like he could get DMPs like that. There's a world where that happens. That happened at Oregon. So I think there's another step for Renaud, and it seems that like Indiana fans don't think that's going to happen. Like every time I mention Renaud, it seems that in our comments people are like, "Oh, I don't know what you see. Like, why is he gonna break out?" No, it's Ware that's gonna break out. I mean, Renaud had a really good freshman season, having to play behind Trace Jackson Davis, and I don't know. I just feel like the stats match up, and honestly, just my eyes, like the games I saw Renaud play. I think that he could have a breakout season. I just don't know if it's going to happen. But if I had to pick a breakout guy from Indiana, I think I might pick Renaud over Ware.
I love when your eyes speak to you. First of all, it's one of my favorite things. Yeah, I'm in on Ware. I hear your argument. I think one of them at the end of the year will definitely be on this list. I would give it like a 51% edge to Ware, 49% edge to Renaud. But there's also a world where Mackenzie Mbako is just the best player on that team very clearly, and neither of them are breakout guys. Indiana just needs at minimum one of them to really be superstar mode, I think. And then, I just want to add, you already said it, but I want to echo Derek Simpson. Love the pick. I would go so far as to say he should be the top point guard on this list. No disrespect to Boswell, but don't know how easy it is to break out as a guard if you're playing next to Caleb Love. Said it before. That's gonna be an obstacle to a Boswell breakout, in my opinion. Derek Simpson's the whole show, right? And not saying being the whole show on a Rutgers offense is the greatest resume booster, but I think he could look really, really good. Love that kid can go.
I remember, I'll never forget watching him last year just on TV, but when me and you showed up to that very first game at the Big Ten tournament, and it was Rutgers, and I was like, Derek Simpson can go. Like there's something there with him.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of similarities between him and Doug, honestly, in my opinion. And I think almost as much as we and everyone keeps talking about Bruce Thornton, I think Simpson and Doug deserve a little more of a push here. And so good to see Simpson on the list. Great job, Guy. Want to call that out. This is my favorite list that you've done thus far, Guy. So kudos. Guy the List Guy continuing to help us out with huge engagement. We have some more creative projects in the works with Guy. He's got an idea for something he wants to do during the season that I'm very excited about. And most importantly, a lot of these just come back to puns about the name Guy, which I absolutely love. Guy's giving us Guy puns. I can't wait for the season to get here. Let's get to our one big thing. We almost hit our time limit today, by the way.
We did. That's pretty good. And I feel it even like, because I feel like we were going off on kind of little longer winded tangents. I think we did pretty good.
Credit to us. I would give this like a 9 out of 10 episode today. I thought it was pretty solid. Yeah.
I agree.
All right. What's your one big thing presented by Bigby?